From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, January 27th, 2016. Silver is trading at $14.50 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,120 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $398. Antiwar.com reports influential Iraqi member of parliament and Badr Brigade leader Hadi Amiri on Tuesday declared U.S. airstrikes against the Islamic State to have been a failure, saying they'd killed some of the Islamic State's figures, but that the group remains large, flush with cash, and in a state of high morale. Amiri said, "Today, the Islamic State is a state. It has command centers. Their locations are known. Their logistics are known," adding that the U.S. is not attacking the Islamic State sites and is subsequently not doing major harm to the continued control of much of Iraq and Syria by the Islamic State. Amiri also faulted U.S. arming schemes for moderate Syrian rebels, saying this was a big source of weapons for the Islamic State and that what few moderate factions even exist in Syria are so weak that the Islamic State is just taking the arms away from them. The Badr Brigade is among the largest of the Shiite militias fighting against the Islamic State in Iraq, and this has made Amiri hugely influential among the nation's Shiite majority. While he hasn't been as overtly hostile to U.S. deployments as some other militias, he has been very critical of U.S. tactics. If you're fed up with the government running every aspect of your life, but you're not listening to the Lava Flow podcast yet, what's wrong with you? Go right now to thelavaflow.com/listen. The Lava Flow podcast, channeling the flow of information to the libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, voluntarist, and agorist community. Subscribe today using any podcatcher at thelavaflow.com/listen, or just go back to sucking up to the government. The Lava Flow podcast, striking the root every episode. UPI reports Concepcion Picciotto, who kept a peace vigil against nuclear weapons outside the White House for nearly 3.5 decades, believed to be the longest protest in U.S. history, died this week at a homeless shelter in Washington, D.C. Picciotto recently suffered a fall, but the cause of her death Monday was not immediately known. Concepcion, known as Connie to many, was believed to be around 80 years old. She began her anti-nuclear proliferation vigil outside the presidential residence in August 1981, just 6 months into Ronald Reagan's administration. But the protest, known as the White House Peace Vigil, was actually started 2 months earlier by activist William Thomas. After she met Thomas, she was a regular resident in Lafayette Park on Pennsylvania Avenue, across the street from the north lawn of the White House. Various other activists joined and departed the vigil over the 35-year span, but Picciotto was the only one who remained as a permanent fixture. Between August 1981 and January of this year, more than 12,500 consecutive days of protest under her belt, it's believed Picciotto's was the longest-running political protest in American history. Over the years, various signage has accompanied her makeshift residence near Lafayette Park. One said, "Live by the bomb, die by the bomb." Another said, "War is not the answer." Advocates and supporters colloquially referred to her post outside the White House as 1601 Pennsylvania Avenue. For virtually the entire protest, maintaining the vigil became a game of cat and mouse. According to rules by the National Park Service, vigils cannot be left unattended, even for a brief moment. If they are, they can be removed by authorities. In 2013, the display was immediately but temporarily taken down by officers when the young activists stationed there left their post. In the end, Picciotto's presence on Pennsylvania Avenue outlasted the entire administration of 4 American presidents and nearly a fifth. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Eamon Bundy, the purported leader of an occupation at a wildlife refuge in Oregon, and several of his companions were arrested by federal authorities Tuesday evening. A law enforcement source told CNN that shots were fired during a parking stop where Eamon Bundy and 7 others were arrested, though it was not clear who opened fire first. Lavoy Finicum, who acted as the group's spokesman, was killed by police during the incident. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.